Welcome to the Hawker-Brownlow Cars and Stars Plus program. My name is Lynn Keating, the Victorian consultant for the program. This presentation is designed to provide you with an overview of the Cars and Stars program so that you have an understanding of what is involved and how the program can help you to get the best results for our students. After all, this is what our ultimate aim is. The Cars and Stars Plus program is based on multiple research projects which have identified comprehension strategies that are critical to improved literacy skills for all ages. The program fully aligns with the national curriculum and is differentiated to meet the individual needs of our students. Unlike many other programs, the Cars and Stars Plus program not only assesses individual students to find their zone of proximal development, but also identifies specific teaching strategies at these zones. The program then supports staff in teaching the next level of work by using explicit teaching lessons that are prescriptive and targeted at each student's needs. Today, I'm going to take you through the first two steps of the program, the placement test and the CARS, Comprehension Assessment of Reading Strategies. Let's start at the very beginning of the program with the placement test. We all know that in any class there is a bell curve of students' levels of achievement. This placement test will show how many students are at below or above expected levels and by how far. Sometimes this is a real eye-opener to staff as we can often identify our tail and top enders without really knowing how far they are from the majority of other students. Before you start the placement test, you need to identify a level that you believe each student is functioning at. This is determined by previous testing, anecdotal records, reports and observations. Once we identify the level each student is working at, we actually begin their placement test one level lower. This helps every student experience success and feel at ease with the tests. Each student needs to complete at least 3 placement tests to ensure their correct level of understanding is identified. The placement test is found on the Hawker-Brownlow internet site. There is a computer icon on the bottom left of the home screen that offers a free download of these tests or an online alternative. Both options are free. Hawker-Brownlow does not retain any information on these tests, so please keep your own record of results. If you are using the downloaded tests, you will need to download and print off each test for each student at their level. If you choose to do the placement test online, you will need to select what level the student completes on the drop-down box. The tests comprise of 6 multiple choice questions in levels P and AA, 8 in level A and 12 in levels B to H. The numbers of questions correlate to the number of strategies to be taught at these levels. Each test takes about 30 minutes and is completed independently except for levels P and AA that are read by the staff member. When each student completes his or her test, it is corrected. Online testing corrects automatically and then chooses the next test for that student to complete. Being adaptive, it will either go up or down a level. Paper copies will need to be copied at the appropriate levels for each student following each of their tests until you are satisfied the correct level has been identified. When a student has completed the first test and it has been corrected, the student will need to go down a level if they have achieved less than 50% correct. If they have achieved between 50 and 80%, then this is their level to work on. Above 80%, they need to be tested at the next level up. So tests are then set up at this newly identified level. You follow the same process for the third and following tests if required. The teacher should record the identified level for each student as this is the level that each child needs to work on for the coming year. Once the level of learning has been identified for each student, the next part of the program, step 2, is the assessment of each of the strategies as found in the CARS book. The CARS consists of diagnostic tests to highlight which particular strategies in their level that students have understood and which strategies that need to be explicitly taught. Each CARS book comprises 5 pre-tests, 5 benchmark tests and 5 post-tests, along with tracking charts that help each student take responsibility for their learning and future goal setting. The pre-tests are to be completed at the beginning of the program, ideally 1 test a day over 5 consecutive days. The benchmark tests are administered at any time as standalones throughout the year. These can be used to assess ongoing learning, perhaps before report writing, parent-teacher interviews, planning for future learning or other relevant times. The post-tests are completed at the end of the year to measure the growth of each student. The tracking charts and personal reflection sheets are to be completed following the correction of each of the tests performed, making students' learning very visible and support the development of learning goals. One of the most powerful learning opportunities is the correcting of each of the tests with the students. These, of course, would need to be done in groups according to the number of students completing the same level test. The discussion as to what answer is correct and why, along with why can't the other options be correct, helps confirm and clarify the learning taking place. Throughout the entire CARS and STARS Plus program, the assessments and teaching components cover a diverse range of genres and cross-curricular content. Once the strategies have been tested by completing the 5 pre-tests, then planning for the explicit, differentiated teaching begins, which is where the STARS books come into play. Our new CARS Online program is a subscription-based software package that automatically analyses student and class performance for each strategy and displays individual strengths and weaknesses so that you know exactly where your students need more practice. Please have a look at the STARS video, also online, for information on the implementation of this third and vital part of the CARS and STARS Plus program. If you would like a visit to your school for further support, information regarding any aspect of the program, or a look at the resources at no cost, please email Hawker Brownlow or alternatively contact your state representative. Thank you for your time.